Happy holidays and welcome to Sylvan Mist Designs in the 2025 Paint Along event. Now, first things first, I do want to let you know that this year, just due to hectic circumstances, I wasn't able to find a good time to schedule a live event. So this is pre-recorded, so don't worry if you're watching this after the fact, you didn't miss the live. Now this year, keeping sort of with tradition, I suppose, we're not going to be doing a strict mandala. We are, however, going to be using a lot of the same elements. We are going to rely very heavily on swooshes and walked dots. So I apologize if that's not quite your thing. And if it isn't, that's okay. Take a look at the channel. I've got plenty more things going on that I'm sure you'll find and enjoy. So let me show you what we're going to be making today. We're going to be doing an ornament in a bell. I always thought these looked pretty darn fancy when I was little. And this year I got some large ornaments and I thought this might be a good time to do this. Now, speaking of ornaments, let me show you what this is. I happened across these. These are 3.5 inch round clear acrylic ornaments. This one happened to be at Hobby Lobby, and I was able to get them buy one, get one free. So that was a happy accident there. Now these, again, they're 3.5 inches, and they are covered in a film on the front and the back side. So keep that in mind. When I paint these, I do take off one side of the film only. You'll notice on this one, I have a little black dot here. Now the black dot is actually on the film portion, just so I know which side is which. Okay, so I'm going to be removing one side of the film to actually paint on. For tools today, I always use my Happy Dotting Company tools, and I've got the range from 0.5 to 5. These are all we're going to need today. Okay, nothing larger than that. And then you're going to need a swoosh tool. If you've never been by my channel before, you may not know, but this is my go-to. This is just the nail art tools, and I like to use the 0.5, the kind of sharper tip. This is my swoosh tool. I do want to point out at this time, speaking of tools, that if you are going to be using tools like the nail art tools with the larger ball tips, keep in mind that if you're following along step by step, the sizes will not match and you will need to scale them appropriately. But what we're doing today, again, is going to allow you a lot of creative freedom, and you do not need to worry about being exact with tool size. As always, I've got just a very old washcloth that I use to wipe my tools off. It's wet with a little warm water and just something to put that in. I've got a pattern today that I'll be working with. Now, this pattern, you actually don't necessarily need to use this, but I did sort of want to show you how to interpret something like this into dots and swooshes, which we're all a lot more familiar and comfortable with. Okay, so that's going to be one of our tricks today, is to be able to understand how to change these into something that we know how to work with. I've got my paint palette over here. This is my go-to Lazy Susan, and let's talk paint for a quick second. I do like the Deco Art Americana, so I'm just going to be using a white on that. Okay, and then for silver, this silver just happens to be the one that I have that I sort of gravitated to because I like its sparkle. Okay, this is the Bright Silver by Craftsmart. This paint is just a smidge thicker than any of the Deco Art, so just so you know, it's not going to cause any problems though. And then because we are going to be working on this nice smooth surface, in order to ensure that the paint sticks and does become permanent, I am going to go to my glass medium. This glass medium, like it shows here, adheres color to slick, non-porous surfaces with a high gloss finish. Okay, this will not thin your paint. It's not a thinner. And it will not change the color of your paint. As it shows in the instructions, you can use up to 90%. Okay, so for acrylic colors, medium only, mix with no more than 10% paint. Okay, now I mention this because I have gotten comments on this. When I put this in my palette, I do just a generous dollop in the bottom. And I have had someone ask me, well, geez, is that really enough? I know what it says on the package, but I've been using that exact same bottle, that exact same product with every single one of my bookmarks and ornaments and other glassware. And in all of those 4 years, I've never had a problem. The paint does not wash off, wipe off, and I have not seen it flake or peel. Seems to be just a perfect amount for that. I have taken off the film on just one side. And then what I'm gonna do is line this up here. I don't know if you can actually see this on camera or not. The hole for the ribbon or string is right here, and this little filament is just down here. So I'm going to just ever so slightly adjust the template down so that this element is right in that circle. Now I do also have a couple pieces of masking tape over here. What I'm gonna do is just put this on the very edge. And we're gonna tape that down to the Lazy Susan to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And then same on the bottom here. Now that I've got that, let's go ahead and get the paint in the palette. Now give this a really good stir. Let's start off with some real simple basics, things that already look very familiar to us, and that's going to be these swooshes here, this set. First thing I'm going to do, I've already done one of these, so I know the size right offhand, but if for any reason you didn't and you weren't 100% sure, just check it by eye. I know that this one is a 3, but if you didn't, you can just sort of eyeball measure it, especially if you're going to be using these sorts of tools. You may just want to do that instead of following directly along with the numbers that I'm giving. This one here is a 3. The one on either side and this set of 3 is all going to be a 2. All right, so again, let's start with something that's really familiar to us already. I'm going to take the 3. We're going to put a dot right at the top of that element. Then I'm going to take my swoosh tool here and I'm going to pull a line. Now, if we imagine that there is a horizontal line cross-sectioning that dot, I'm going to pull from either side of that line straight down. Because it's so small, you shouldn't have to worry about anything not connecting in the middle. That's the only 3 right now for those. So now I'm going to wipe my tool off and we're going to flip over to a 2. And then I'm going to do the same here. Now for these 3, I'm going to start with the one in the middle. Easy enough, right? Now let's take a look at the long kind of swooshy lines that are on either side. These here. For these ones, I actually like using the round ball-headed tools versus the two-tool method like I use when it's these teardrop shaped swooshes. With this, again, you probably just want to kind of go through and measure a little bit here. I did that in advance, and I'm going to be using the 1.5. Okay, because if you see, that ball fits right into the tip here. So we're going to load that up real well. And this again is just the white. We're going to hang on to the white for a little bit yet. Go ahead and touch this. That's perfectly fine. Go ahead and touch. Get a nice amount on there. And then just like you're writing, just follow that line all the way down. And we're going to do that same thing here. As you may have noticed, some of these lines are really small and really close together. Don't worry so much. This is, like I was mentioning, where you have a little bit of creative freedom with that. You don't want to go too overboard, and you don't want to have this like dragged out way over on this side, but as close as you can. Okay, so we're going to do the same with these two. So here's this one. We'll pull that down. And we'll get that one in. For this one, I wanted to make sure the tail was a little bit thicker. So as you notice, I start from the beginning and pull all the way down. I find that that just makes things a little bit more consistent, and you get that gradual taper. But you definitely don't have to do that. If you're more comfortable kind of just pulling it in stages like that, certainly can do that too. Now that we've got the super familiar ones there out of the way, let's take a look at the pattern and see if there's any others that look like that. Immediately, I find these two. There's one here. There's another small set here. And then there's these ones down here. So we're gonna do those two exactly the same way. I'm always gonna start with the larger one first, and just slowly drag these along. That's the beautiful thing about this acrylic. It will let your tools glide. Again, do the larger one first. That way you know you're gonna have room enough for the small one. I'm going to switch from the 1.5 to the 0.5 end for these ones since they're a little smaller. Okay, let's do the easy one first. Now for this one, it is the same, but I think it might be a little intimidating because it hooks around like a little candy cane here. But just pretend you're drawing. Okay, it's going to get kind of thin here. I'm going to re-dip, and I'm going to start again at the tip, and we're going to follow that line again. There. Not too bad. Let's address some of the larger elements that are in the middle. Going to give you a quick look as to where we are now. At this point, we've done these ones here. Let's take a look at this line, okay, because it curls all the way across and all the way down. What I want to do is turn this line into some swooshes and dots. The swooshes are going to be filled in along the sides, so let's work on our dots first. I'm going to pick up a 3, and I'm going to find a nice spot here with a lot of room. That is going to be about here. I'm going to go into the silver, and I'm going to put the top of this dot on the bottom of the line here, like that. Because there's still some room, I'm going to still take a 3. Let's put a dot next to it here. And I can probably get away with doing that right here as well. Again, the top of the dot is gonna follow the bottom here. We're just gonna start walking dots, but because this line is so long, I'm never gonna be able just to walk dots all the way through. So here's what we do. I'm gonna wipe off the 3 end of my tool. Let's go down to a 2.5. Let's start on the long edge here, and we're gonna do just 2 dots. Okay, so we've got 2 dots there now. For each 2 dots that you do, you're gonna go down a whole size. So we're gonna move from a 2.5 to a 1.5. Now I'm going to redip. Again, I'm going to give the illusion of walked dots, but we're not actually gonna walk them, or at least not yet. Now, I did 8 dots just to the bottom of this leaf here. That was with a 1.5, and you notice we didn't actually do any walks, okay? So I'm going to shift down to a 1. What we want to do here is just put in maybe 2 dots. Okay, so I did a walk there with 2 dots. We have some more space here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to a 3. And this is a nice open space here. So we're going to switch the side of the line that we're on, and I'm going to put the dot there. There's not quite enough room to do another 3, so I'm going to switch down to the 2.5. I'm going to do 2 dots there, and then I'm just going to do whatever fits in here. It's probably just 1. Yeah, for me that's 1. For you that might be another 1 or maybe even 2. So again, we didn't walk the dot, we just put 2 in. So then I'm going to go down to a 2. And in this case, we really are going to see how far we can get with walking a dot around this curve. We're not going to follow this curve completely. If you are kind of going ahead, just beware of that. Don't follow that curve completely. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 dot, I'm going to redip, and now let's walk. So I did 4 walked dots there. So I'm going to take and pick up my 1. And then we're going to finish the walk, and we are only going to go to here. I was able to put 5, and we've just got this curl here. Okay, I did not go through into the center. So now that we've got that part, let's go up here, and we're going to do the same here. Keep in mind, again, we're not going to go all the way through the center. We are going to stop right about here. Okay, so these are a 3. So let's go into a 2.5. And a 1.5. And then I'm going to redip this one here. So I personally did 5 dots, and then I walked the remainder. So now we have something that looks like a question mark, right? A very fancy question mark. While we're still here in the silver, let's go ahead and put in the centers of these. Now I'm going to pick up my 5. that is going to fit here. Now you may want to just double check yours because again, with a little bit of freedom, you might have extended this a little farther or whatever. Check first, is a 5 going to fit in that space? Going to get a nice heavy dot here, and we're just going to plant that right over that little swirl shape. And then we're going to do the same up here. We're going to nestle that down right into the curl. I like doing this when you see these little curly loop-de-loops, these really, really tight ones, because otherwise I have found that when you start curling with the dots, you lose a lot of definition and sometimes it tends to look a little funny. So now we're going to put that 5 away. Now let's work on some of the other elements. So let's start over here. We have this leaf shape. What's the closest thing that looks like? I'm going to turn this a little bit this way. Okay, it's a little more comfortable. Now, to me, it just looks like swooshes, right? That come and intersect each other. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to take out, let's see. If you want to look here, these are maybe about a 2. So I'm going to start with a 3 since even in this design, this top one is a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go with a 3 to start. We're going to go back into the white. I'm going to get a dot right up here, right next to the silver. Let me wipe that tool off here. I just want to make sure that it's not going to overlap and touch the silver. And then I'm going to start, again, imagine a horizontal line. And we're going to draw this all the way down on the one side. And then I will just pull this here. There. Now I'm going to take my 2. And we're going to do a swoosh to join the bottom here. And then here. That doesn't look exactly like the pattern, but it fits, doesn't it? And those swooshes are very familiar to us. We have another set of those that are almost identical here. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did here. I'm going to pull 3 swooshes down, and then I'm not going to worry too much about this bump that is sitting here, but I'm just going to turn this into a swoosh with this being the bottom. I'm going to do the exact same. We're going to start with the 3 for the large one here. Now, because on the pattern, it almost touches this set of swooshes, I'm just going to move that down a little bit. And then let's move to a 2. There we are. Now for this one, I didn't actually do a swoosh on it. I did more try to follow this pattern. Now it is a little bit of an oddly shaped pattern, but don't let that frighten you at all. I'm going to take a 3 and I'm going to put it right at the largest point there. Now we're going to act kind of like it's a swoosh. From this end, I'm going to pull from the middle and I'm just going to wrap around here and fill it in. So that's like a swoosh. On the same dot, we're just going to take this side and pull down. And then just sort of draw it. In this, the little leaf sections, there are some lines that kind of give you the idea that they are leaves. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that later. Now this one here is a little bit funky because it kind of curls, but you know what? We don't need it to curl. What we're gonna do instead is I'm holding my 3. We're gonna take and put a dot right here again, right on the heaviest point. And then I'm just gonna wrap this around to this point. And I'm gonna turn this into a swoosh right along here. This little tiny swoosh here, that I'm actually gonna do the same as we've kind of been doing here. Put a little dot there. And then I'm gonna wrap that this way. There we go. Up here we've got another one of those kind of odd little swooshes. I'm actually gonna take a 2 because a 3 I think is a little bit big. Same thing, we're gonna put right on the largest spot. And we're just gonna drag that down. And then here's another. Now for this one down here, I went back to a 3. We're just gonna put a dot there. And we're gonna drag this all the way up. And then this one, it's a little bit of a weird shape, but we can actually just kind of pull it from here. I am gonna dip my tool, and then we're just gonna let this fall right off. So I'm gonna take the edge of it, and then I'm just gonna fill it in. Now let's get into some of this other stuff, right? Because we have a lot of odd lines coming through here. So I'm gonna stick with my 3, and I'm gonna go in, and any of these little curly cues that we see, like especially these little small ones here, we're gonna just dot those with the 3. So I'm gonna cover this one up here. This one here. I can get into this one here. There's a couple here. Now, as you can see, not every single one of my dots is exactly the same size. Although I'm holding a 3, I am just practicing a little bit of pressure technique on this. So really, really light push down. The farther you push down, the wider the dot will be. So if you want a smaller one with the tool, just lightly touch. Now we are left with some lines and some of these weird little shapes here. Now I'm gonna leave those be for the moment. let's start by going back in here. This is one that I'm going to do the same as I did here. Since they're kind of small, let's see. Let's go into the 1.5. I'm actually going to use silver for this particular one, I think. I'm just going to draw swooshes kind of along this little path here. See if I see any more of these that we can kind of interpret that way. I think I'm going to leave this here. Let's move over to some more of the dots. We have some more space to fill in here. Along this line here, I'm going to do the same as I did here. So we're going to go back into a 3, but this time, since it's a nice short one, we're going to go ahead and actually walk it down. Let's see if I can't turn this around a little so it's a little more comfortable. Okay, so I'm just going to start here and then walk right along this line as far as I can get in, just like that. We have another delicate one here. I'm not going to be able to fit a 3 to start, I don't think. Let's see. Let's go with a 2. And I'm just going to do a couple of those dots. Let's do 5. And then I'm going to switch to the 1.5. And we're going to walk around this dot here. Just like that. There's a few dots here, so I'm just going to take my 1 because it's very small. And let's do a walk maybe right up on the top of it. Just like that. I'm just going to kind of alternate sizes here as I sort of filter through just based on eye. Okay, so I took a 1.5 and we're going to do this one here. We have another nice section here. Because it is sort of a swoosh line, I think I'm going to try to do that. Picked up my swoosh tool. Let's use the 1.5 end. Let's go back into the white for this. And then let's see if I can't follow this mostly around. Just like that. I'm going to keep a hold of this now, and I want to show you what I'm going to do here. Because we have this space here, I don't want this just to be an empty space. So I'm going to take the 1.5 and I'm going to turn this into a swoosh that runs along this one. Just like that. Now we have one here that pulls around. So I'm going to get this one in white. Let's see if I can get maybe a 2 in here. Yep, that looks like that should fit. Okay, and I'm going to go backwards. There. So now we have that one surrounded. And we want to work on these here. Now this one again also kind of looks like that swoosh figure. Okay, so I'm going to go back into the white, 1.5. Let that come around. Now for this, we definitely want to bring in the dots. And I do want to bring that all the way around. This, however, does have this nice empty spot here. Because I've already got a 3, a 3, and a 3 kind of in a row here, I don't know necessarily that it's going to be really great if we add another silver 3 dot here, but I do want to fill up this space really nicely. So what I'm going to do instead, let me go ahead and get a 2, and we're going to jump into the white. Instead of trying to walk them in these small spaces, I personally just find that swapping down, in this case to the 1.5 and dotting along, is easier. You don't have to change tools if you don't want to. But again, in these small spaces, I just like doing that. I'm just going to follow that along there. And we'll follow that there. Okay. What I think I'm going to do here is let's go ahead and get another swoosh in. I'm going to go to a 3 in the white. I'm going to put a dot, give or take, where that little squiggly is, whatever that thing is. Okay, and then I'm just going to bring this up as far as I can along here. There, like that. Okay, so we've got basically all of our lines covered, but what I'm going to show you here, let me go ahead and take the tape off. If I can. Okay, all right, let's get the tape off. There's that side. It does have a generalized bell shape, but I do want to make that just a little more pronounced. Let's take the 2 to start with. Right along here we have this really big curve. I'm going to take the silver and I'm going to pull this out just a little. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to do some walk dots right along the side. Okay. There. Now it has a little bit more of a fill. And I'm going to do the same here. Just along this very tiny edge. Walk that right off the end. I've got a little bit of a space here that should kind of come across. Like that. Now I've got this awkward bit. I'm actually going to keep my 2 tool in my hand, but I'm going to switch from silver to the white. And then fill in that space. I've got just a couple of other little spots here, like here, and maybe here. Okay. And I'm just going to go through and fill these. Like that. Now that should be complete. I'm going to go in real quick. I have a little bit of a spot here that where it drew out. It was almost kind of see-through. And then here as well. Some of these things you won't notice until you've taken off the template. There. Now we have these spots, which I'm going to add in that little leaf detail back. I have the 0.5 end, and let's see. I'm going to put a dot there, and then let's pull a swoosh up this way and out this way. With this one, let's see, we probably need some more. So I'll do something like this. Like that. And feel free to go in and put in as many of these little details as you think you want. Now there's one little spot that I did see that I missed, and that's right here. So I'm going to take the white and just get an extra dot in. And again, that's just looking back and making sure that the shape of the bell is more or less intact. Okay, but now I think I've finished mine, and hopefully you have too. I'm actually going to get this out of the light there. My apologies. There we go. So this is the first one that I did, and the second. As you can see, at first glance, they might look almost identical, but as you keep looking at it, the shapes start to transform. And that's the thing that I really like. They do become very, very unique. And you can certainly do every single one of them exactly the same, based purely on a pattern like this. But as you start to get the feel of it, you may want to change things, and that makes it so, so beautiful. If you want to do this again on maybe a different ornament or a card or something else, then feel free to actually just draw the outer shape of the bell or whatever you like and just start filling it in. Just do it without any pattern or preset template. See what feels natural. Maybe use some of the same elements, and I guarantee you it'll be beautiful. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And again, I apologize it wasn't a live event, but I do hope it was enjoyable all the same. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this and you've made it this far, please make sure that you're subscribed and give it a like. Happy holidays, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic holiday season full of love, family, and not a whole lot of drama. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.